It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts, Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Hareld, and Araceli Avalos. And now, let's dish. Hi, hello everyone. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we're serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you're watching us live and in living color and you don't want to miss any of the stunt shows and shenanigans that we do on this show. Make sure you click the subscribe button and the bell notification. That way you'll never miss when we're going live. Also, you can find us on your favorite podcast stations in case you're stuck in traffic or you're pumping iron in the gym or taking a long walk through nature. You can find out what happened in Salem this week by logging on to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. Just type in Dishin Days and take us along with you. Also, make sure you show some love to our former co-host and my chocolate twin, Mr. James Lott Jr., who is serving up a few dishes of his own. JLJ Media serves up a recap of General Hospital, Young and the Restless, and Bold and the Beautiful, along with some original audio dramas. So make sure you find JLJ Media on YouTube and wherever podcasts can be found, because we do love James Lott Jr. Sometimes. And also, while you're here, tell us your thoughts. And also, if you're watching us later, make sure you comment below. I promise we read the comments. We may not reply, but we do read them.
If you catch Tony on an off day, he will reply. Depends on what you say.
There are some times where I'm like, you know what? I got time for this one. I just start typing. As you can see, we are the dynamic duo today. Araceli is sick, actually. She just did a post earlier that she's caught the flu and lost her voice, which many of us cannot imagine Araceli not being able to talk.
She's probably going to be in the comments.
Yeah, she will be. She can type. She just can't talk. And Michael Mattis is off giving his parents a lovely tour of Los Angeles today. Right. So you guys make sure you show them some love later on. But before we start Dishin Days, we have a very special guest with us. She came in like a whirlwind in Salem and didn't stop. So let's take a look at the one and only. And here she is, everyone. Serena Scott Thomas is with us. Yay!
It's so nice to be with you guys.
So nice to have you. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you were one of the most anticipated characters on the show. I mean, we had heard about it months and months and months in advance that you were coming on and that you would be playing Fiona Cook, who was Xander's mother. And we couldn't imagine just what was in store for Fiona. I mean, what for you? Did you do any research, or how did you prepare to like tackle this character?
Oh God, how long have you got?
We have all the time in the world.
I have to be very honest here and say that the way that the character was presented to me, I thought to myself, no acting required. We call that NAR. No acting required, because, I mean, obviously there were certain elements of it that have not been my own life experience, but I have had a fairly colorful life. So, I had a lot to draw from. Should I just say that?
Life experiences.
Yes.
As actors do often pull from.
True. Yeah. I mean, you have to, that's kind of your toolbox,
Yes.
Yeah, I think like Tony said, highly anticipated, because even before you were even cast, I feel like over the years they've kind of thrown in little hints here about Xander's mother, and I feel like every time they do, we learn a little bit more about her, and it's always like the anticipation is rising. It's like, oh, are we going to see her? Are they bringing her in? It's one of those like, oh, he mentioned her in an offhand comment. Does that mean she's coming? And then,
Oh yeah, so you're guessing all the time.
X amount of years later, you show up and did not disappoint.
I'm so glad.
I want to ask, I know this was your first soap. What was the the acclimation period between like getting like the quote unquote like soap acting down? Because I know it's a different beast from theater and film and
completely
pauses. It's the dramatic.
I gotta tell you, it's a baptism of fire. The casting director, Marnie, she's just adorable. And she said to me beforehand, just when you go in for your blocking in the morning, take a notepad with you and write notes on your script and do all this thing. And I thought, why is she telling me all that?
Yeah.
But I went with my little pad and it was really, I'm so glad she said that to me, because you go in and you have to figure out where you're going to stand, and the lights and camera people figure out where they're going to be, and then you have to stick to that movement and that light, and learning not to block other people from the camera that's behind you and the light, and that was just I kept doing it wrong. So it's very, very nerve-wracking, because it's a new set for you, it's new people, you're desperate for them to like you, really, the imposter syndrome is really strong. And so, it's a lot of pressure in the beginning, but I mean, I have to say the other actors and everybody, they were just so nice and so helpful. Nice. And, Suzanne, she was so funny at one point. I was in a scene with her, and she was just like hair up, and she put her hands on my hips and she just like shunted me. During the scene, get out of my light. It was but Paul was amazing. Yeah. Lindsay was amazing. Eric was amazing. I mean, they were just so fun to work with. I can't speak highly enough of them. I mean, I miss them so much. They're like, they're like my children, I love them to death. My new family.
Oh yeah. I mean, and Days is very much like a family. Like everyone there is so nice and so warm and so welcoming. I can only imagine the fun you guys had in between takes.
Oh. I mean, when we would do the blocking in the morning, sometimes, when it got really dramatic, we would sort of ham it up and do sort of Shakespearean stuff. And, and the crew would be laughing. And, we really, you only get one take pretty much, right?
Yeah.
So as an actor, there's no, and this is one of the things I loved about it, is no doing the scene, the take, and going, oh my God, I think I can do it better. Can I have another go? There's you can't do that. It's just right. It's good enough onwards, and so there's no what I call navel gazing, and no stressing about could you do it better? No. And that I found with me, and I was probably the same for everyone, it forces you into a position where you have to take a risk and really go for it.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get another, you're not going to warm into it. You've got to go full on right from the beginning. And that in and of itself is a skill, and then all the precision, hitting your mark, not blocking this person, getting in the right light, which I was rubbish at, actually. I was rubbish. I was so bad at getting in the light. And, I will never look down again, and if ever I go back on, the hair will not be like this. Because I wasn't doing myself any favors. But, it was the most fun I've ever had on a set.
Wow.
Yeah, the most fun.
Was there ever, speaking of just like, getting that just one take, and I know sometimes as actors, we always think about that one scene or that one thing where you're like, oh, I just wish I had just one more take. Is there a scene like that for you that you think about and you're like, oh, I was almost there?
No. And part of the reason why there was not because I thought I did a fabulous job, but because actors freak out about afterwards normally.
We do.
But because it moves on so fast.
Yeah.
There's no time for whining. I mean, yeah, of course, in life, it's like in life when you have an argument with someone or somebody pisses you off and you want to go and you want to say that feisty, perfect, spot on thing. You go away afterwards and go, oh, I should have said this. We're always brilliant when we do that, right? But no, I mean, there wasn't, like I said, there just wasn't time for that. And I can't remember, I don't remember feeling that. I mean, yeah, maybe there was a couple of times I could have done it better, but the deal is you don't get to do that. Mm-hmm. And that's why when you're doing a take, you go for it or you regret it.
Yeah.
You take the risk or you regret it.
Yeah.
And Fiona is such an intense character that, there weren't many moments where I thought, am I being over the top?
I don't.
Lindsay said at the beginning, she goes, Serena, there is no over the top.
Right, I know. Right? It stays. I gotta say, Tony and I know Paul pretty well, and honestly, he sings your praises so much and often. I'm curious about what was the first interaction with you and him and you and Lindsay. Because they have such a great pairing and they sort of have their stuff down pat. So I'm curious when you met them.
I mean, they were so the first time I saw Paul, came out of my dressing room. This is this long sort of dingy corridor. And he came out of his dressing room down at the other end and he went, Mom!
That's him.
And we rushed into each other's arms, and huge hug, and I was just so touched. And Lindsay was the same. Lindsay's a hoot, first of all, and we just laughed. And I really became very, very fond of them. I'm very attached to them. Whenever I see them on interviews, it just makes me cry.
I love this.
I mean, like you said, it's the most incredible family.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a feeling of love and support on that set that I don't think I've ever felt. Maybe it's just because I'm older now and I'm more in tune with it. I'm more relaxed, so I can feel it. I'm not so self-obsessed as I used to be, maybe, hopefully. It was palpable. It really is. And they take very good care of them. They really take care of people on that set. The mission statement is on the wall, and it's a very beautiful thing. I took a picture of it, actually, and I was like, this is how I want our companies. We have a few companies to be run, is this ethos. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How would you describe Fiona? Like we'll start at like your initial thoughts of Fiona, and did it change towards the end when she was sitting in a jail cell across from Brady?
Yeah. Well, because when you read the script, obviously, you get the script, pretty, soon thereafter you're actually filming it.
Yeah.
And you have no idea where they're going with it.
Yeah. We've heard that many a time.
It's not like when you read a movie script, right? And you know the ending.
Yeah.
This is like you read the first couple of episodes, you get a couple of episodes and you go, oh, interesting. So, I mean, to me, with the background that they gave me to start with, I mean, I had no idea that there was going to be the Brady Fiona thing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Horrified when I first saw that, because I thought those days were, in the rear view mirror for me. I was like, oh my God, really? Luckily, Eric is just a superstar, so it was fine. But, and then, all the sort of, pillow smothering and stare. Like, you can't predict that, right? And I think the thing is, when you have any character that you play, you have to kind of believe that they think they're good people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we all mess up. We all do stupid stuff. We all suffer from various neuroses and whatever, addictions and, blah, blah, blah. And we all behave badly sometimes. I mean, I do. I don't know about anyone else, but I can't speak for everyone. But no one.
We all do. I'll speak for Justin too.
But you know what I mean? It's like, so you have to kind of get inside the character's skin, and you have to kind of go from a point of view of, how do I think that, like, what good am I doing? What is my reason for going here? Obviously my reason for going there was not so that I could try and kill my son's wife. It was so that I could get this relationship with him that I felt so guilty, and that I had to make an amend to him and be the mother that I always wanted to be, but just couldn't because of my disease, right? So that's the way that I approached it. This is Fiona's mindset as she goes into this. And then, of course, with the relapsing and the drinking, if you've ever known somebody who's suffered from that disease, it's like Jekyll and Hyde. There's this really lovely person that suddenly becomes an absolute beast, and does things, unconscionable things, and then justifies them quite brilliantly. As an Howard Fine, I used to go to Howard Fine's acting classes, and I'll never forget this. He goes, "We're never more brilliant than when we're justifying our own bad behavior." I thought that was so true, and it's a great thing to hear for an actor, because you go, because I've got to keep thinking that I'm doing this for the right reasons. I have to be justifying my behavior all the way along. So if I think, yes, obviously it changed as I went through and they wrote all this stuff. It was like, oh, okay. But it wasn't, it was great fun to do.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, it's not often that you get those extremes of behavior and character and those high stakes. And I don't know, it was, I still maintain that she's fundamentally a good person. And that she's really, really messed up, and she just completely unravels, and I think as an actor, that's the way you have to think about it.
And we saw that throughout, like, just this unraveling, but also this festering of keeping this secret that she was the one that was behind the wheel and hit
torture.
Sarah.
Torture. I mean, even it's like when I would read these scripts and they would leave you on this cliffhanger, I have something to confess. No, just let me say it. It was torture.
It's funny because we talked about that scene quite often. And one thing that I said was, I was like, Sarah had enough time to look, see who it was, move out of the way. It was
that story if she'd done that.
Right. It's like you have to just disband disbelief of like it all happened quickly. Although while we're watching it, we're like, she had enough time to step, look through her purse, see headlights, see who was behind there, and then go.
Talented young lady.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm gonna get hit. Bam.
She can multitask.
Exactly. She was in shock.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Poor love. Oh my God.
I say it's so good to hear you say that about the character, because I think one of the things that people really resonated with you and with the character Fiona, I think, is the confliction that you played so brilliantly. And you have, on one hand, you're setting up Brady, which we don't like, but also we know you're doing it because, not just because you don't want to get caught, but because of what that means in terms of your relationship with Xander. And I think it played it beautifully, where we see you as this morally great character, but we don't hate you for it. And
oh my God,
there's still a lot of interest there in sympathy for her, even though she's essentially not framing, but sort of allowing Brady to. Well, yeah, actually,
totally.
I guess you did.
Put him out of the passenger seat and put him in the driver's seat.
I forgot that part for a second. Yeah.
I'm not sure how I did that, but
I know. But it's hard to play that into walk away and still be viable and have people feel sympathy for you. And
to be honest, it's something that really worried me.
yeah.
You know, yeah, I mean, it was a concern. It's like, oh my God, they're all going to hate me. I'm going to get assassinated. But I'm glad to hear you say that. Thank you. You know, that's quite a relief. I'm sure there are some people that just, I mean, you know, there are people, you're always going to get some people that can't stand a character. So, you know, but we actors, we take it very personally.
Yeah. Well, just to ease your mind a little bit, the chat has been saying a lot of great things about you, including Mama Bear, the wife Serena was amazing. I'm going to try and keep this short. She opened up so much more of Xander's life coming onto the show, and she clicked with Paul and Lindsay and Suzanne like she'd been there the whole time.
Oh God, don't you make me cry. Thank you. Whoever that was, thank you.
It was very seamless for a new character to come in. Sometimes there's a little bit of like awkwardness or like sort of getting the character to sort of find their footing or to mesh them with certain people. And it wasn't. I feel like we were anticipating her for so long, and you came in and delivered, and they put you with the right people. And
how fabulous was that dress?
Oh, it was. First of all, just the whole entrance was amazing because I was like,
I couldn't believe it when I saw that dress. I was like, seriously?
Yeah. And you looked amazing. You looked stunning. And it happened like we got, which is very rare in Salem, to see a whole wedding that doesn't go awry.
Well, I mean, it's really hard to do as well. I mean, can you imagine for the camera people, there's like 5 cameras and they're all trying to make sure that people don't get in the way and the light, you know, I mean, woo! That's a moving target, you know.
That scene was that. I
have to put my glasses on.
Well, this is my mother. She says hello. Yes.
You know, my husband's a podcaster as well, and his mom comes on every now and again.
Oh, sweet.
I got my mom hooked on Days of Our Lives. She just recently started watching it more regularly, but she used to go with me when I would host the fan events with the cast. She never knew who they were, and so, you know, she was just there and just having a good time. And now she gets to actually watch them. And so since I've been doing this show, she pops in. Well, now she's in the chat. Yes. She used to text me during the show. So now she's here. So hi, Mom. And she said you played that part. So
that's so sweet. Yeah. So my husband's from Louisiana, and his mom has this really strong accent, and she's this like really cute voice, and everybody loves her when she comes on the show. She's so funny. And she goes, I can't do the accent, so I'm not even going to try. She goes the other day, she goes, Serena, I am getting such a kick out of seeing you in jail. You have the best ugly face of anyone I've ever seen. And I thought to myself, does she mean like ugly crying?
Yeah, right.
And she said it like 10 times. And I said to her at one point, I said, Marie, quit while you're ahead, okay? Whoa, your ugly face is fantastic.
We also have Christian Me World, who's been a fan of ours for quite some time. Every time he enters the chat, he always says, I'm sorry I'm late. I was booking Fiona, but love the blue dress, Serena.
Thank you. Thank you, Christian.
But just you know, we saw the clip of when you first came in, and you know, for you, how was that first day? Because I mean, essentially, you were gonna drop such a huge bomb that we as fans had been anticipating and wondering how they were going to do this reveal. But take us back, like how was that? One, was that your first day? And two, how was it filming that entire wedding scene? That again, you looked absolutely amazing, and I hope you stole the dress.
Yes. Thank you. That's really sweet. It was actually, I don't get to dress up like that very much anymore, so it was actually really fun. But it was, I can't remember if that was my first day. It may well have been. But it was definitely the sort of, the scene that I was looking forward to. It was pretty petrifying.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think that fear is a really good thing. Sometimes I think if you're not scared, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Part of it's excitement, part of it's fear. It was, it was a big entrance, but I mean, the truth of it was so well written. The character was so well written that he made it easy in a way. You know what I mean? I was kind of spoiled. I was kind of let off the hook because of the whole way she did it, and the bombshell that she dropped, and the timing of it. Because I did, and and the bit I loved too was the director gave me the note, of when I first met Victoria. I was like, ew, oh, grandma.
Yes.
Which I loved as well. I mean, oh God, it was such fun. Oh, it was such fun. But yes, it was it was daunting and also because, all of these actors that have been working together for years and years, suddenly they all turn and look at you.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big scene.
Don't let me freeze right now.
Yeah.
And we often talk on the show sometimes. We don't get sometimes a lot of those big scenes where sometimes it's a wedding and we're like, oh, lots of people are there. It's nice. So it's very rare to sometimes get those big scenes with that many of the cast on set.
I think it's very difficult for them to pull off, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, along with your entrance, another memorable moment was Greg Rickard, who plays Leo.
Oh, yes.
And his reactions during the whole thing. He was
winning, yes.
He's like
he is, he's heaven, isn't he? Isn't he divine? I love his character.
Great.
And he's such a nice man.
It's so fun.
It was such the audience. Fun. It was us, yeah.
Essentially, it was almost like we were sitting at the wedding, but he was reacting for us because we couldn't be there. So he was a representative of all the fans who were watching
totally.
this all go down.
It's quite a brilliant device, isn't it? That
have
the
absolutely
reporting and talking to himself, kind of thing. Yeah. Brilliant.
Curious, Serena, what was one of your favorite scenes to shoot?
Well, the first one was really, really fun. Oh my God, there were so many. I loved the ones where Xander and I were having real conversations.
Yeah.
I loved those because I love Paul. But, he said to me when I first got there, he was so sweet. He said, I wanted to have a mum on the show for a very long time. I felt it really missing in my character. I felt my character really missed that. And and I knew that. So when we did those scenes together, I felt it from him, and then I loved the jail scene with Eric.
Yeah,
because Eric was phenomenal in that scene, and I mean, that was grueling. But I just watched it the other day, and I was like, damn, he's good.
Yeah.
And being an actress, I love my drama. And then the sweet bits, with Lindsay, the sweet bits with Sarah too. I mean, it was very nice to have the ability to have those sort of that tenderness when in the rare moments. And then of course working with Suzanne, I mean, I just adore her. Yeah. She is the queen. I said to her, I said, you are so regal. I mean, that woman, she was a dancer, right?
Yeah.
When you hug her, she is solid as a rock. And strong, and her posture's beautiful, and she's just got this aura of fabulousness. And she really is a really wonderful human being. So it's hard to say which was my favorite because there were so many. And then of course I loved all the sort of the car running over scenes. That was really it's like, how the hell are they going to do this too? It was kind of fascinating.
I can tell you one set of scenes or a couple set of scenes that people really identified with or thought oh, this is interesting was I'm forgetting the actress's name who plays Sophia.
Oh,
And it was
Madeline.
like,
Oh yes.
it was like, oh, this is Fiona sort of being completely herself and being vulnerable in these scenes, and it was nice. It was a nice change, I guess.
And I enjoyed doing those scenes as well because it was different.
Yeah.
You know, and I felt bad for her because at one point I was giving her the stink eye.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh my God, you are so scary. She's a great kid.
Yeah.
Those were the fun sides we like to see with Fiona too, and it was always a question with fans like, oh, like where is this going? Because when that interaction happened, the first time it was like, oh wow, I think it's a moment where two women just kind of need another woman in their life right now, and it was just a nice kind of bonding moment. And for a second, I was like, oh, like is this going to be like, you know, that customer that comes in and you keep these conversations going? Well, that dwindled in Horton Town Square when you were like, I don't have time for this today, honey. There is too much going on.
Good call. Yeah. There's a little murder afoot. You know?
Yes.
But it was also like two sort of bad girls too, of like, and then you giving her the advice. It was like, okay, there's like a mentorship sort of stewardship here.
No,
I was like,
totally.
okay.
And you know, I mean, Fiona's weakness, you know, is men.
Yeah.
One of them anyway, you know.
Whose isn't?
Tends to
That's
go
our weakness too.
right. I love it. You know, but it tends to go hand in hand with you know the alcoholism too. You know.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, in my mind, Fiona had a lot of experience of a lot of different ne'er-do-wells. And so I felt, you know, that I was in the right spot to give this young lady some good advice.
Yes.
I believe so too. We mentioned, we were talking earlier about like how you get the scripts and you think that the story's going to go one way and then they obviously tend to go another. Do you remember any of those moments where you read the script and you thought, okay, we're going this way, and then you filmed and you're like, not what I thought?
Yeah, all of it. The first time it happened was when there was the Brady love scene thing.
Yeah.
I read it and I went, oh my God, that took them all of 5 minutes.
I mean, I feel like we were kind of excited about it because Brady finally had, you know, someone else other than Kristen. And so we were like, this could be interesting. I mean, sure, they're bonding over or after a couple of drinks, but this could be something.
And I did feel there was like a certain sweetness in that.
Yeah.
You know, there was one of my favorite scenes, actually, now you made me think about it, was when I said to him, go out the bathroom window, and he goes, it's blows up. And I'm like,
yes. Oh my God. We definitely talked about that for a while. That was
I love that. It made me laugh so hard when I read that. I was like, that's brilliant, that line. I love it.
Oh, and that's when my infamous impersonation of Paul Telfer started, because that was the scene where the cliffhanger was he saw what did he end up seeing?
Underwear.
He saw the underwear, but I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be socks. So I said on the show in my best Paul Telfer way, I was like, Mom, whose socks are these?
Very good. I'm sorry, I keep hitting the mic. That's very good. I'm very impressed.
Serena, do not encourage him, please. We just got over it. Now he's bringing it back.
Oh no! Hang on one second.
You're right.
I love that they use the word skivvies too. I mean, you never hear that word anymore.
Yeah.
You know? There were a lot of very sort of Englishisms. You know, there was one point when they wanted me to say to the baby, "My little crumpet," and I'd say, you know, crumpet in England is a derogatory word that men say about a hot girl.
Oh, really?
Instead of crumpet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So I was like, no, we got to come up with something else.
Yeah. The more you know.
There were a couple of those, but for the most part, they did really, really well with it. You know, the Britishisms.
Yeah.
It's made me laugh. Brilliant. It's brilliant.
I'm curious, outside of like keeping you on the show as long as possible, if you could play writer for the day or for your character, how would you have changed things a little bit or would you have changed things for Fiona?
No, I don't think I would. I think it was really well done. I mean, I was always amazed at how, I mean, you know, the you know, smothering and the pushing down the stairs stuff. That but you know, the singing the lullaby, you know, before I try and kill her. You know, but it was really fun.
Yeah.
But no, I wouldn't change any of it. I thought it was perfect, actually. I thought they did a really, really good job. I really liked what he did. Because I had an absolute ball.
Yeah.
I mean, as an actor, that was just, you know, no holds barred. Go for it. Have fun. You know, be over the top. I don't care. Whatever. Just have fun.
Yeah.
You know, and that's doesn't always happen. You know, doesn't always happen. So I wouldn't have changed any of it. No.
One of our fans says, next time we see Fiona, I want to see her break out of prison with Diana and Vivian, who are two other villainesses from Salem who are in prison. The three villainesses need to run Salem. Now that would be something.
Ooh.
We're just gonna say we need to write a loophole in that gets Fiona out. Yeah. That'll be the solution.
Well, you know, I can't spill the beans.
Oh, we love beans, but we want you to keep them. So this week, I mean, everything came to a head. And you know, actually, we thought for a second that Sarah knew it was Fiona, but wasn't quite sure. But this week, she was very sure, and Fiona was not having it and was about to roll Sarah down the steps. Which, for 2 seconds, I thought, if she does accomplish pushing Sarah down the steps, would that be the way that she starts walking again?
Oh, no, it like reverses things.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's not beyond the realm of possibility.
Yeah, it's
It could have happened.
I mean,
it could have happened.
Anything seems to fly.
I mean, listen, if people can come back from the dead just by a needle, I think a little push down the stairs
Someone
can
can
help
stay
them
alive for a year without a heart.
Yes. Yep.
That was the one that got me. Thinking about that.
And honestly, kudos to you and Lindsay for that scene, because sometimes, you know, the stunts will look weird. And we've joked about a few of them on here before.
Yeah.
Trying to on the door.
Weirdly delayed or something. But those scenes, that scene of you guys like sort of struggling, like actually looked real. It wasn't like you were kind of going for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she's a formidable actress. And she has a great spirit, and oh my God, she's the most amazing person. Yeah. She really is. I just adore her. I miss them all so much.
Oh. Well, I mean, we hope and pray that this isn't the last of Fiona. I mean,
me too.
We're expecting to see him again.
Nothing would make me happier, I got to say. I mean, you know, who knows? I mean, I'm so grateful for having had that job and had that opportunity and have these experiences, which I'm just loving. Sorry, can you hear my dog? It's so annoying. I would yell at her to shut up, but then everyone would hate me. So maybe they would.
If you did it as Fiona, they would love you.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, and by the way, this is not a drink.
and you know what? If it was, it's fine. We have our other co-hosts would have wine normally. I always have water because I talk a lot, so I'm just
you get really thirsty. No.
And I have water too, Serena. So
okay. Oh, this is not a drink.
No. Oh no, we
really not
believe
it. There's ginger and turmeric and apple cider vinegar, and I'm addicted.
Oh, see, that's
good.
It's really good. Yeah, I just discovered it, and I love it. Love it.
Do you feel, Dylan Matthews? I'm not lying. This is not straight vodka. I promise this is water. Serena, do you feel the way that things are slowly wrapping up for Fiona? is there any room for redemption for her? And maybe at some point there is forgiveness and understanding that she could receive from Xander and Sarah and Maggie and everyone else who's been affected by this.
Well, apparently anything can happen.
Yeah. On the sort of totem pole of good to worse, she's not that bad compared to a lot of Days villains. I think she's in the redeemable column for sure with some time.
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, based on what's happened before in the show, you know, but I wouldn't say she was not that bad. I mean, she's pretty bad.
I mean, I don't know. In comparison to some other wonderful people, I think this is probably a small speck.
Yeah. If anyone can forgive her, it's Xander. I mean, his rap sheet is much longer than Fiona's. So
when he started telling me all the things that he had done, I mean, I was just dying. I was dying. You know, you held my wife hostage in the garden shed. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I would think so. I mean, that would not be too outlandish at all.
No.
I don't think so. Would it?
No, I don't. I mean, I feel like, you know, everyone has time in prison to just kind of think and reflect. And then they come out as a completely different person.
I'm told that the outfits they get to wear in prison are really sexy.
Yeah. I think it's very yeah. I mean, it's very denim on denim, like a nice denim
like
shirt.
Tuxedo.
Yeah, like a jumpsuit. Yeah,
it's like a little denim jumpsuit or something, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, that could work.
Fiona will accessorize or tailor it, right?
Marvelously.
Serena, for you, this being your first soap opera and you know, experience, and you know, you've obviously had such an amazing time and worked with such amazing people. What else do you take away from this experience? Because you've had such an incredible career, but obviously this is a very specific, you know, experience for you. But what do you take away from just being on the show?
God, I mean, that's a huge question. I'll try and keep it brief. So there were a lot of things. It opened my eyes to a whole other world, and it made me think about the joy and the comfort that soap operas bring to people. It's not, you know, art house, you know, Oscar winning stuff, you know, but it's stories that like people look forward to every day, and that they comfort people in their own homes, and they entertain people, and you know, make people happy.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, you know, I've done a lot of different kinds of things, and you know, I've been lucky enough. I'm lucky because I've done a bunch of different things in my career. But the idea that I found it to be much more satisfying from the point of view of thinking, you know, am I being of service here? Like, what good am I doing here? I felt like I was doing more good doing this than some fabulous, big budget, you know, glamorous movie. And that may not be true, but that's what I felt.
Yeah.
And it made me feel good. I liked it.
Nice.
I really, really liked it.
Well, I hope you know from us and from fans, it was such a joy and a pleasure to have you in Salem.
Don't make me cry.
Oh.
But it's all true. It was such a dynamic storyline and such a dynamic character, and you brought out another side of a character that we've known for so long, and you held your own throughout this whole time. And I even think this week, when everything unfolded and everything unraveled, and the scenes with you and Paul and Lindsay and Eric, I think at some point we felt for Fiona, and we wouldn't have been able to do that without your talent. So you're amazing and incredible, and I do hope that Fiona rides into Salem again.
Can I do that on a horse? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why not? They've had a motorcycle before. Why not a horse?
Yeah.
It's very British after all. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys.
So incredible. Like, I mean, we were super excited to have you on today, and we always just, want to, because I know with soaps, you never know like how people are feeling about your character, how they're
quite frightening.
Yeah.
The fans are very loyal too, and they like things to be a certain way, and they feel strongly about who does what to whom.
Yeah.
And very sort of opinionated. And I did read some things, and I thought, oh my God, I can't read any more of this. They just hate me. Which is really silly, but we're sensitive folks.
But you can't help it. Like you get curious, and you're like, let me just see what people are saying.
I know, but it's like,
and then it's like, it's like just not going to go down that road again.
No, it's well, I mean, most of the stuff I've read has been really sweet and kind in this instance, but in my past lives, I've made that mistake of reading reviews sometimes, and it can really mess with your head. It's a very bad idea.
Well, let's get rid of the negatives and show you some positives. There's some more. Brad K says, Serena, you were such a phenomenal addition to Days. M says, Serena, you were wonderful, and I hope you come back to Salem. Thank you.
Thank you, M.
Patrick TV says, Serena is so talented. Fiona needs to come back. And a great portrayal that anchors and explains Xander at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's incredibly sweet. You guys.
And
Serena needs an Emmy nomination. I agree. I agree with that.
Shush.
And Days is on a winning streak so far for the guest Emmy. So maybe
Oh, you guys are too kind.
Yeah. And so funny because Paul's been on a couple of times especially over like the last 8 months, and he's been sort of prepping us for you without saying too much. So
you have to be careful what you say too. Wait, did that episode air yet?
Yeah. I mean, they filmed so far in advance, like they're like 8-9 months in advance, and you kind of go, wait, when did I film? Is it airing right now? What exactly is airing? So you have to think
and you
about
have to be on it. You have to be quite on it.
And even like everything we have coming up is so good, meaning this particular storyline with you and what's going on with Lindsay and it all converging, and
I'm dying to see how they get her out of the wheelchair, because apparently she'll be running a 5K in a very short period of time.
Same. We're wondering that too. Serena, before you go, because we'll keep you here forever, and then all of a sudden it's 3 hours later, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm still here.
I'm having a grand old time, you guys.
A lot of fans want to know, including Annette Thompson, what project is up next for you?
Well, more Days, of course.
Ooh.
No, I mean, I don't know. No, don't take me wrong. But right now, actually, I'm resting, as we say in the acting world. We're working on a few projects, my husband and I. We make documentaries about the food industry and diet lies and losing weight and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're working on now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I may need to tune into some of that because being from the South.
Where are you from?
South Carolina.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yes. So we love to eat, and I still love to eat. I sometimes feel like I eat like a fifth grader, but as you get older, your body's
starts to matter, doesn't it? I know.
It does.
I know.
It does.
It's kind of humbling, isn't it?
Yeah.
You always think, oh, I'll be really good for a few weeks and it'll go away. It doesn't.
Yeah.
You have to maintain that.
So I know. I mean, if you can maintain, like the best you can hope for is maintenance, right?
Yeah.
It's. I mean, you guys are much younger than me, but it's been quite hard work.
We know because the way I ate growing up is not the same way I need.
It's a lot of fried food, right? Yeah, my husband's the same because he's from Louisiana and they eat fried food there. By God, I've been to South Carolina. I love that food.
It's so good. There's a little thing called heartburn now that happens. And I'm like, what is this feeling? This has come out of nowhere.
Yeah. So, not too many vegetables.
Yeah. No.
And if they are, they're fried.
Yeah.
And damn it, they are good.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
Well, Serena, this has been such a joy to have you. We can't sing your praises enough. You are absolutely amazing, absolutely stunning. This has been such a joy to have you on.
You're so sweet. You guys know how to make a girl feel good, don't you?
Listen, that's the only time we've heard that today.
My mother taught me never to tell a lie, so
classic. I love it.
There we go.
Makes me love you even more.
But we do hope that this is not the last of Fiona, and we do hope that you venture back into Salem. There's always a way, and if fans are loud enough, which they can be.
Yes, so get out there, guys.
Yes, so everyone tweet hashtag bring back Fiona, like all of that, and then you never know because
we're known to spearhead a campaign of bringing someone back. Yes,
no, I mean I would so love it, and honestly, I think there's an awful lot. That can happen for her.
There's so much more.
There's a lot of room. So, let's see.
There's more to play with, definitely.
Let's see.
Well, thank you so much, Serena, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Of
you
course.
Guys are tonic.
Oh, thank you.
And not a gin and tonic.
Although Justin will probably take that gin and tonic after this.
You got to wait a couple of hours, right?
Right.
Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Sure.
All right, kids. Well, thank you for having me. It's been such a joy, and thank you all you lovely fans for being here and for all the sweet things you've said. I mean, I can't tell you what that means to me. It really, really does. So thank you.
You are so welcome. And all the best to you, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Yes.
I shall. All right, lovelies.
Thanks, Serena.
Bye. Oh, that was so much fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
incredibly genuine.
Very genuine. I absolutely adore her.
Yeah.
Adore her.
It's so sweet.
Well, we still got to talk about the show.
I just looked at the time.
We had such an amazing interview that we still have to go through this week's episode. So, Justin, what did you think about this week's episodes?
I like this week. This was a good week.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot going on. Some conclusion, or not kind of conclusions to certain parts of the storyline, but I feel like I don't know, a turning over of others where, we're just getting started with the next chapter, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely felt like all of a sudden we're closer to the end of storylines, and I didn't realize we would get there so quickly.
Yeah.
But it's definitely been edge of your seat,
absolutely
details about it.
But we very rarely will get multiple or two sort of big things converge in the same week. Usually they will space it out.
because we'll get into it.
Yes.
Let's dive deep into it, shall we?
Yes.
You know what? I feel like we should have a way of like showing this that's a little easier, but we'll do this for now.
To like a graphic,
yeah,
maybe,
something. But until then, it is now time to start
Dishin Days.
Dishin Days. I feel like that's the closest that we're gonna get.
Probably,
yeah. We're gonna set it and forget it. All right, so we've already talked about the storyline, but Fiona faces the music this week.
Yeah.
I mean, just being able to talk to Serena about it, but also just watching everything unfold. Like the second Sarah remembered, it was like, okay, yes, that is the right memory because you remembering Brady was not correct. And we all know that was to help out Xander. But when she turned around and Fiona walked in and she was like, it was you. My first thought was, okay, stop right there. Like, don't say anything else. Like,
don't give away too much. Yeah.
Right. But almost like, don't even say it was you. Just turn around and be like, oh, hey.
Just wheel yourself to the next room and get away from Fiona.
Just be like, oh, excuse me, I need to, go check on Victoria. Right. And then all of a sudden is that moment where like you're out of the room and you look, and you're just like, like you're really like trying to wheel away from
Oh, they should have filmed that. I feel like Lindsay would have been game for us that scene, just as an insert of
her just wheeling away as fast as she can. No, but this week I was like, oh, here we go. This is the classic soap mistake of like they start talking a little too much, and then that clicked for Fiona to be like, yeah, you know too much. You gotta go. And I literally thought like, oh my gosh, like she's already hit her. She's already like tried to like, smother her with a pillow. And now she's just like, listen, I'm just going to wheel you down the stairs. And luckily, Xander came in and was just like, Mom, what are you do? Well, of course, me and my accent. But luckily, like, Xander stopped her.
I really didn't know if someone was going to stop. I thought like, oh, are we actually going to get a scene of her pushing her down the stairs?
I thought so.
I really thought we were actually. I was kind of surprised when his hand came and grabbed the wheelchair.
Did you have a sigh of relief when that happened?
I kind of did, because I was like, oh no, not Fiona. Come on, we love her. She's redeemable, but don't push it down the stairs. We can recover from that, Fiona. Come on.
I was like, listen, we can
too far.
We can recover from you hitting Sarah. It's fine. She's alive. She can't walk, but she's alive. But you push her down the stairs. We don't know what's gonna happen. Is she gonna get up and walk away? Is she gonna die? Like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
But then it was just, kudos to Paul Telford.
Yeah, Paul.
Because the scenes with him and Serena were just so you just felt like all the mix of emotions this week. And
I feel like
No, go ahead.
I feel like we got the anger which we were expecting, but also the hurt of and there was also a weird I don't want to say, there was also a little bit of respect too with the way he was talking with her. Like he was pissed and angry, and but it was also like, this is my mother. And I feel like if this happened a week after she came onto the scene would have been different. He would have been more rageful and vengeful. Yeah. But since some time has passed and he's accepted her as his mother, I feel like the conversation even was altered or different. There was a lot of hurt in his voice. There was a lot of, and like I said, even some respect not to even just go crazy, because we know how Xander can get when he feels like he's been wronged by anyone, whether a man or a woman. And
just a few weeks ago when he tried to off Brady.
Yeah.
We see the wrath of Xander for sure. But it's I think you're right. If it happened like a week after Fiona got there, I think it would have been completely different. But I think also Xander wanted this relationship with his mom. And so it's it's such a mixed emotions because it's like, how could you do this? But like, you know, it's like that pull of like, I want you in my life, but right now I just can't believe you would do this and hide this and lie for so long. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And there's a part of me that actually thought he was gonna kind of let her escape. I don't know. So part of me was like, is he gonna give her an out to be like, get out of here, like make a run for it, or like he was so angry? But I actually thought part of it was gonna say like, I'm banishing you from my life, just get out of here, you know, kind of disappear, kind of a thing. And then when he started talking about calling the cops in, and then sort of Jada came in.
And then Jada came in.
Yeah, it was like, oh, okay.
When you said banish, I banish you.
It
sound very Game of Thrones. I banish you, Mom.
But I was like, that would be something Xander would do. He'd be like, I banish you from Salem, from my life, from.
Go on, you go. Yeah.
But also giving her an out to leave. Like, there's a little bit of hope there, but.
Yeah, and it was interesting how everyone kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together. You know, obviously Sarah remembered. Detective Eric.
I know, because it's not the best Eric's been since he. It's not the best. I was like, you should have made him a cop then, and not this weird. The priest thing was crazy, but yeah.
Well, you know, everyone has phases in life.
Yeah.
But you know who I was just like, bruh, let it go, was EJ.
Oh, he's a dog with a bone.
Like Fiona literally was like,
yeah,
you got me, I did it. And we're seeing these emotional scenes with everyone, and then you cut to him and he's like, well, I don't see why I need to let either one of them go. And they're like, but Brady didn't do it.
He's so petty.
Fiona did.
Yeah. EJ will take an opportunity to punish someone he doesn't like to the fullest.
For something that has nothing to do with what's currently happening. See, this is why you have to be careful who you give power to. Because on one hand, I kind of get it. Because like, you know, sometimes growing up, you're always like, karma's going to get you. And then when you're able to be karma, you're like, I'm going to make sure you get it. That's how EJ is. Yeah. EJ is very much like, you hurt my feelings 5 years ago.
Yep.
And now you're sitting in jail. And so now I can just get you.
Yep. Yeah.
I was like, oh boy, goodness gracious. But I'm glad he did let Brady go.
Yeah.
But I'm also I'm glad that there was that scene between Brady and Fiona.
Definitely, yeah.
Do you? There's a part of me that wishes this situation didn't happen, because then you have to wonder what the relationship would be like between Brady and Fiona.
See, I think it's not necessarily off the table. I mean, look at, like, he admitted he still has feelings for Kristen and all the things she's done. I mean, Fiona's like a walk in the park. You know, Fiona stepped on his shoe compared to the stuff Kristen has done. So I don't know. I think if Brady's forgiven a lot worse. I think there may be something there for when we eventually see Fiona come back. I think there could be something there.
Yeah. Because I liked it. I mean, I liked their nights out. I mean, even though neither one of them were supposed to be drinking, I was like, I mean, at least y'all are having a fun time.
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, it was nice to see Brady have an interest in someone else and allow himself to have an interest in someone else, and and just have some fun. And I mean, again, it was. The drinking was bad, but you know, they had some fun together.
Yes, I mean, you know, maybe they could have had the same amount of fun with a Shirley Temple.
Yeah,
but man, but see what happens. You know, one night and then all of a sudden, boom.
Mm-hmm.
I still will go on record and saying Sarah had plenty of time to move out of the way. saw the headlights, saw Fiona. She could have just went, whoa. But
it still didn't remember it was her. But we also got like we got the teen side of it with Tate and Sophia here. I really like them together. I said it last week. I saw something. I really like them together.
Tate and Sophia?
Yeah.
Is it because it's not backed with and like with all the other stuff like Holly and Tate have?
Yeah, I like that, and the fact that they brought it to, and this is something you, Tony, have always been saying, and I think the rest of us have given Holly a pass, I think, in the past, and you've stuck to the whole, like, everything she did to him, and they're still a viable couple, but it sort of resonated more, I think, this week, especially with both Sophia and Tate saying it. I'm so sorry, Sophia and Aaron saying it to Tate, of like, we love Holly, but you know, there's been some drama there, and your union has not been. Yeah, there's been a lot, and your union has not been so free. So it's nice to see him just be sort of carefree with Sophia, and I like that. Again, she's still a little manipulative, but for the most part, all her cards are on the table. She talked about liking him. We know that he knows that she's into him. She actually really stepped up for him as a contrast to what Holly was doing in terms of helping. Sort of, she agreed to testify even against Fiona, which was like, okay, girl, yeah, this is your in here with Tate. So,
and not her keep calling Fiona a bitch. That bitch. It's like, what did she do to you? Well,
she got empowered now that she could. Yeah,
she had to show off in front of Tate. But yeah, I mean, listen, and they're so young, right?
Yeah,
and it's like I'm sorry, but if somebody
send you to prison,
if someone kept me in prison for something that I didn't do when I was trying to help them and cover them up, doing something that sent them into a coma.
Yeah.
And they come out of said coma and still are trying to protect themselves while I'm sitting here in a halfway house. And then you get out and you're like, but I still love you. It's like, how? How do you still love that person? I think that's why seeing Tate and Sophia, it's more like, okay, I get that. This is a little more teenagery, right?
Yep.
Where, I mean, let's be honest. Sophia, she was digging Tate for a while, but she was really digging Tate when she took that ferry from Salem to the Horton cabin and had sainted him with no shirt on and no his drawers doing push-ups.
Yes.
I think that would make anybody kind of go. I mean, I think even we were like,
listen, all those people complaining, he was all of that criticism went away when he did that scene.
It was very much like, oh, Tate, like you're doing too much. You're like lying and got Aaron over there at some camp, and you. Well, all is fine now that we done seen you like this.
Yeah.
So are we rooting for Sophia and Tate?
I am. Now I am. And I think it's because they've, like I said before, I think what was missing before is she came onto the scene and it was all sort of manipulation and lies. And it's like now they're rounding out her character a bit. We're getting a little bit more insight. She's being a little bit more honest. We now see this duality with Ava in their conversation, which was really nice. And very reminiscent of the one she had, the first conversation she had with Fiona about just kind of getting some sage advice from an older woman.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she was so smitten when Tate came in and was like, I've been thinking about us. And she still tries to have that like, you know, that sass like, oh, have you? Mm-hmm. And then he's like, we should hang out. And she's like,
yeah, she played it cool. Yeah, she's not desperate.
But the second he walked away, it was very much like, I mean, listen, still at my age, if a boy did that, like I would be, you know, Tony.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And then as soon as he walks away, I'll be like, ooh,
yeah, right. And Ava lurking in the background, smiling for her.
Smiling, being
her
like,
good deed.
that smile very much said, "You go, girl."
Yeah.
You
I did a good
go.
deed today. Yeah.
I did. Today, I did.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll see how things continue to unfold with this, but did that come
There's some
to a head
fallout. Yeah.
very, very quickly.
Yeah. And we still have the Kristen thing lurking in the background. We'll see how that plays out next week.
With the serum.
Yeah.
Kristen, if you don't just go ahead and shoot Sarah in the legs or whatever you need to do to get her back walking. I mean,
if she doesn't, I think Brady will convince her, even if technically they didn't get him out. I mean, I guess they kind of did, but Kristen, she'll double cross you in a second. But I think Brady will convince her if she's hesitant to.
But imagine this, because this serum has been talked about for like a week or two.
Yeah.
So what if she had like already like got hit with it, right? Then when she remembered that it was Fiona,
Fiona got up out of the chair.
She could have. You know what? That would have been the
She
moment.
would have took her first steps. That would have been the moment.
She would have took her first steps then, because she would have been like, she would have stood up and said, you not gonna, what you finna do? You not about to get me.
Oh, then we would have got a cat fight. Oh, that would have been interesting.
A good old cat fight.
That would have resulted in them falling down the stairs, and that would have been the cliffhanger. Both of them at the bottom of the karaoke stairs.
So Dynasty, right? So Alexis and Dominique of them to. But I think that would have been great. See, we would have wrote it like that.
As we
Dr. Rolf would have shot her with the serum, right? And then for days, Xander would come in and be like, and she's just like, all the frustration. And then she remembers Fiona. And then Fiona walks in. And then Fiona tries to get her. And she goes.
The leg would have twitched. She would have pulling herself off.
And that's the moment we would be like, Sarah! Yes!
Oh God. Oh God.
Oh my goodness.
I love when we rewrite the show for our own benefit.
For our own benefit. Because then Xander would have been like, would have came in and been like, Mom, what are you? Sarah, you can walk.
It would have been
such a discombobulation of it all. I'm still mad though. She's like, Kristen is holding on to that serum until her boo gets out of jail.
Yeah.
She said,
No.
We don't even know if it works.
I know.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens. I do hope Sarah. We can't have her wheelchair bound this whole time.
Yeah, in the next week or two, she needs to get out of that chair.
Yeah. Ooh.
I can't take her reaching for anything else. If anything else falls, she's done. She can't.
I can't reach it. Do you think like if she does start walking, like she'll go see Fiona in jail and be like,
I'll be mad now.
Can you imagine? You know what? That's some petty stuff I would do.
Yeah, just to glow that she can walk now.
Yeah.
She does cartwheels around the waiting room or something.
Right.
She just starts running.
Oh
my God.
I'm
going to break the fourth wall, audience. You can't see, but Serena is still backstage and she just timed Lindsay running around the waiting room. taunting Fiona.
See, now Serena knows the full craziness of our show, and it's just two of us.
It's silliness. Yeah.
Can you imagine if all four of us was here? It'd be a mess. The hot mess.
Oh my God, too funny.
I feel like for me, I would love to see like just that scene of Sarah sauntering into the jail.
Yeah.
To Fiona and like being very Sarah and like telling her off. and then sauntering out.
No one says she'll walk out forgiving Fiona. So
probably,
yeah.
And can you remember how we were saying that like the denim outfits look great? Can you imagine if she did a dig and been like, oh yeah, denim isn't your color?
Well, and then they cut to Fiona and she's looking flawless in it. Just in this, like, you can't stop her.
This time hair, like instead of the hair falling down, like the hair like just pushed back and just like serving face. Like maybe to you.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Okay, well, that was that storyline.
And the one we rewrote to replace it.
And there was what actually happened and then how we reimagined it. So there's that. All right. Well, speaking of storylines that we're wrapping up, she's not Abigail.
I gotta say, I died laughing when Kayla texted that because the whole time I'm like, why isn't anyone texting? Why? I know you're leaving a voicemail, but like, say it. Like, say she's an imposter. She's a con artist. Like, give us, So when she texted that, I laughed and then it was like, oh, a relief until we saw what happened.
But first of all, now Justin, you and I both have phones. When someone texts you, does it just sit there on the phone like that?
We usually have to like acknowledge it. I mean, the notification will sit there, but not the actual message.
Right.
Like it's like your screensaver. It doesn't become your screensaver.
So the fact that like it was just sitting there, she's not Abigail. It's like, so you just gonna let the text message just sit right there so she can see it?
Oh God.
But I mean, this is another one that's really hard because I do really feel like Abifail fell for Chad.
Oh, totally, yeah.
And she feels very bad about what she's doing, but at the same time, she's like, I have to save my mom.
Yeah.
And I'm also just like, I get that you got to save your mom, but at some point, can we know what's wrong with your mom?
Yeah.
Like, where is she? Like, is she just like sitting in like
not in that room under surveillance, under surveillance from the 90s, the CCTV footage.
Oh my God! Remember the secret room?
Oh yeah.
Classic.
Oh God, we did.
It was so good. But this, I really feel like Chad has always thought in the back of his mind that this isn't Abigail. But I think he believed it because in his heart of hearts, he wants Abigail back. And so he went with it, sort of say.
Yeah.
But
the way he reacted though when JJ or when Holly brought that up, it was like you could see the wheels in his head turning where it was like, okay, I can't deny this. I gotta at least call this one out to kind of see. But no, it was definitely in the back of his head and sort of came to the forefront when
it definitely. And I feel like because it's like when you get information and someone tries to skip past it, he was like, oh, no.
Let's go back.
Wait a minute. And Holly just brought it up like so casually, like, I mean, I wasn't eavesdropping, but
I was like, Holly, troublemaker. Why is this germane to the conversation? He's giving a toast. Like, why does any of this matter?
Holly was just minding her business in Paris, going to see her mama about not telling her about the death of her father 12 years ago. And then Holly became the catalyst to everything. Like walking in the little thing and seeing Abigail, because she walked by like do.
Yeah.
Now in real time, we will be like, Abigail. But for the sake of soaps, she was like, dude, oh, she's on the phone.
Yeah.
And then questioned everything. She was like, wait, what do you mean you're getting married to Chad for your mom? What did you mean by that? And I was like, listen, for somebody who wasn't eavesdropping, you definitely heard everything.
Tell a lot.
You heard the entire conversation. Now, I too am a great eavesdropper. In fact, because I'm from the South, we can listen to multiple conversations and repeat each one. So I get it.
And then she didn't take the hint when Abifail did not want her to come shopping with her.
She's like, wait.
Like, oh, okay.
It's almost like that. I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah.
I'm in Paris.
Right.
I kind of know you.
Right.
I like dresses. Let's go shopping.
Oh, man.
But with this, though, we have the welcome back of Casey Moss as JJ.
Oh, so good. He's always like Casey Moss. I mean, everyone loves him. He's top notch, and I think whenever he comes back, they always find a way to seamlessly bring him in, and it's like he's never left. He picks up JJ like he knows that character in and out, and he slides right in it, and it's so good.
And how is it that everybody goes to the Universal Church
I know.
to get ordained? I mean, granted, I too am ordained from that same church.
Are you?
But yeah, I haven't performed the ceremony, but someone wanted me to years ago, and I was like, "How do you get ordained?" And it's like, "Click, click, you're ordained." And I'm like, "Is that easy?"
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't have to go see like a higher power to be like
to be blessed.
Just go online and just become ordained. But this one, I mean, this one went from 0 to 60 in 3.5 because we had the wedding. They're officially married.
Yeah,
and I felt like she felt it was special, but she also felt like it wasn't for her.
Yeah, I feel like she was getting into it of like, I'm starting to have feelings for this guy, and this would be like an amazing moment. But like you said, I'm actually not her, so I'm the guilt is rising to the top.
Yeah, and then shortly after, it's the toast, and it's like, wait a minute, you said you was talking to JJ. What you mean that you ain't been talking to your sister? And then Chad questioning it, and then being like, can we have a moment?
And I feel like JJ, he caught on really quickly. I thought there was going to be some resistance from him where he was going to say like, Chad, what are you doing? Or why are you talking to her like that? But no, he picked up on it and was like, let me exit stage left and like give them a minute because there's something going on here. And I felt like maybe he was thinking of Jennifer then. Like maybe that was in the back of his mind too, of like something's not right here, and maybe my mother was right not to think she was Abigail.
Yeah, and he expressed all that to Holly.
Yeah,
and again, mother's intuition, right?
Yeah,
a mother, as my mom always says, I know my children, and so I think the second we had that interaction with Jennifer, and Jennifer was like, "You're not my daughter." It was like no one wanted to pick up on that. Right. Like no one wanted to say, Jennifer, you might be right. I mean, you would know. You met her 9 months before we did. But
they immediately got rid of Jennifer.
They said, "Oh, yeah, baby, you got to go back to Boston. Yeah, you got to
put her on an afternoon flight. She wasn't there 24 hours.
Not at all." She said that, and they were like,
"You're like, nope, she's Abigail. Get her out of here.
Get her out now." Speaking of flights, do you think Mark and Steven were on the same?
Right, I know. I didn't laugh. I was like, how many flights into Paris are there from Salem? From
Salem, mind you. And how is it that everybody's hopping on these planes and getting there just like that?
Oh my God. Salem, the international hub of everywhere.
Everywhere.
You can get to anywhere in 3 or 4 hours from Salem.
Or you can get anywhere in 2 to 3 scenes.
Yeah. Okay. Like, what made me like, I was so like taken out by when Mark was talking to Clyde, and he's like, he was like, how am I going to do this? What's the plan? And I was like, oh, you didn't even know the plan before you got on the plane? And then he said, look to your left under the table. And I was like, come on. Clyde set this up. He said he has a contact in Paris to set up a gun. I was like, Oh, you could just hire a hitman. That part I didn't get. I thought that was kind of comical. Of like,
but also, this wasn't like a small package.
I know it was really.
This was like this. Like if you said, reach under your seat and there's something there for you, and I went, this
Right,
package,
exactly.
this one, is this the one? Okay. Like
they had to
like
use
who
the
was
duct tape too. What was on it? It wasn't even like masking. It wasn't even like the Scotch tape. It was the duct tape.
it was duct tape. First of all, do you even know how hard it is to find tape? And somebody was able to find duct tape and duct tape it to a chair.
That didn't make me laugh. I howled at that one.
Like it.
Oh God.
I mean, you couldn't find someone to like sit there and be like,
No,
"Do you see a
and
man
hands it
to
off.
your left?" Yeah, and then the man kind of gets up and goes, and then walks away.
Oh man.
Anyway, he arrived.
Yeah. And
after getting all the
awkward and
details from
nervous
Holly.
and-
Well, yeah. I mean, listen, you would feel nervous too if someone
Yeah,
was like, "You got to
no.
kill somebody." And
I
then
like that they played it that way too. I mean,
Yeah.
he's nothing to do. He's not a killer. He's being forced to do this. And then the sort of standing there staring at Chad when Chad's like, "What are you doing here? What do you want?" And he's like, I don't know."
And I was surprised that they played that flashback as long as they did. Like I thought
Yeah.
it was going to be quick, but they played
Yeah.
like the
Yep.
entire scene. And then
Mhm.
he was like, "Oh wait," but then again showing the love that she's built for Chad, being like, and that's her brother,
Yep.
and her being like, "If you're going to shoot him, you have to shoot me first." Which, okay, side note, why do people say that?
I know. I know. It's like, get out the way.
Like,
Is
like,
it
is there-
really going to jump in front?
Is there not a way that we both can survive this without the gun going off?
I know. How about put
You
the
know-
gun down? Don't shoot anyone.
Because I would like, I try to picture myself in that situation, right?
Mm.
Like if you and I were walking down the street in WeHo, and someone was looking for us, and they were like trying to shoot you.
Mm.
Would I jump in front of you and be like,
No.
in order to get him, you have to shoot me first? Like you know what I mean? Like it's like, can't we just both get away?
Right, yeah. And I will admit, I did get scared. I was like, "Oh no, please don't accidentally shoot her." I was like, "We can't lose Annalyn yet. We need
Right.
She's too good, please."
Well, you know the classic soap tossle where
Yeah,
someone
I know.
goes for the
That's
gun,
what I thought we were
and then
gonna
all of a sudden it's, and then all of a sudden, bam, and then you got to wait till next week to find out who got
Yeah.
shot.
And she's wearing the white dress, and it would have been blood on the white dress, and she would have been holding her side on the floor. And yeah, I'm glad it didn't happen, but that's what I was preparing for. I was like, "Oh God, he's gonna shoot her. Then either she might die, and then that's it for Annalyn, and the rest is gonna be through Mark and his family." But I'm actually glad it didn't happen that way.
Luckily, Patch came in.
Yes.
Do they also travel without luggage? Like,
Well, the
takes a
luggage
whi-
would have slowed him down. He had to get to
it takes a while to get off a plane. Like, how are these people getting there in the nick of
customs.
time?
Yeah.
Again, disband disbelief. You just got to go with it.
But you can't imagine him rolling a suitcase in to be like, "Chad, like I gotta get."
Roll. And
And
then
you-
rolling
you
the
just see
suitcase
a-
in front of him.
We just see a bag behind him with the handle up. He had to roll
Or
the
maybe
bag.
he used the bag.
Or if we heard the bag rolling and then and then he got hit.
We are a mess today.
Oh God. Okay. I know.
But luckily, he got there in time.
Yeah.
I just wonder how this is going to be, and once the dust settles, because there's so many questions about this storyline.
Yeah.
Like,
there are.
how are y'all related? How is it that the other siblings don't recognize her?
Mhm.
Why does Clyde have such an involvement in this?
Yeah.
Also, side note, Clyde, could you have come up with a better way to get the Demare fortune than by
I know.
concocting this whole plan? Also, the last question, who left the gun?
Who what?
Who left the gun?
Oh,
Who duct taped it to the seat? There's a lot of questions.
Yeah. I'm intrigued though. This has been this storyline that I think would have gone a stereotypical way in the past. I think was so interesting the way they did it this time.
Yeah.
I think they would have held on to like, is she Abigail? Is she not Abigail for much longer? We wouldn't have known that. The sibling stuff is really interesting. The fact that Clyde's using this as like a way to get out of jail as well. Like all of it sort of is coming together in a really good way. And I'm actually really excited about what's going to happen next.
Yeah. Oh, we've been forgetting to put up people's comments. What did Annette Thompson say? Oh, come on with the luggage. Steve watched Taken and saw the dad didn't have luggage, so he was just learning from the best. Oh, someone said, oh no, not that. Why are you guys not talking about Felicity and Aaron?
Well, there wasn't too much besides Felicity saying that Abifail reminded her of her mother.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also spilling the beans that Chanel was not at.
Oh yeah.
But Kennedy Garcia played that. She was just like, listen, I'm just here to do my job.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, there wasn't. I think we know from last week that Abifail did have some sort of plastic surgery on her face, so that part of it is true. So that's why the siblings don't recognize her. But there's also, why are we keeping this secret? Well, I guess because she's pretending to be Abigail, but also why didn't they know her beforehand?
Although Felicity did say there was something very familiar about her. But see how Felicity said that?
Yeah.
Cut to Jennifer. That's not my daughter. See, that's an example right there of how people know the people, right? Felicity knows, I don't recognize the face, but there's something familiar about you. And everybody who's been in Abigail's life has been like, there's something not Abigail about her.
Yeah.
Which goes to show that even though you can have plastic surgery and like change your face and all that kind of stuff, but you, as you, will never change.
Yep.
Like the way that you do, like you cannot have your memory, but you're still you.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. So hopefully we'll see some sort of reuniting of them maybe in the next week too, and some explanation for some sort of family info that will come out that'll give us a better understanding.
I can't wait for that to be revealed, because I have so many questions about that.
Mm-hmm. I still think the mom's Katerina. I mean,
you think so?
I do, because I think it connects the John part of it. Because why else would Clyde go after John, which is fine, like in and of itself, that he would go after John, just as like payback or revenge, whatever. But why would he send John to the same place that she was at? And like,
but wait, it can't be Katerina, because she died many, 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 many years ago
that we know of.
Well, shut my mouth and call it Christmas.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe she lived, or like there was something else going on there, and because then it's also like, okay, how is Clyde connected to them? Like maybe,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was that storyline.
Yes.
And now we move on to Body and Soul. Relationship drama.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you start.
Okay. I'm not liking this direction with Johnny. I don't like the way they're writing him. Like
I just don't think someone will be that jealous all of a sudden to where it's just consuming him so much. And the fact that like he's trying to play like detective, but
like if you really thought it, wouldn't you be like, I saw you and Alex, like what the hell's going, like that would, like what would be the point of him not revealing that?
Okay, but let me ask you this. Picture it. You have been working all day. You come home. You walk in and you see your partner engaging in an act. Are you going to close the door? Or are you going to go in and be like, mother?
It would depend what's at stake, because I might want to pull some sort of revenge or something.
You little petty bitch.
Because if the person has money, then it's like, okay, I got to be more calculating about this.
So you just...
If we were both broke, I'm bashing your head over. I'm bashing your head in, but
I love the fact that it's more about what relationship am I in? Is it a sugar daddy that I need to make happy, or is this a regular broke Joe that I'm tired of anyway?
Oh, I'm talking more of like scheming to get some money out of them. Like still like I'm not staying with you, but I need to know how to exit this. Am I exiting poor and rageful, or am I exiting with something in my pocket?
I just feel like he should have been like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
To where it reveals Stephanie. But also, I'm like, there is, and I'm glad Days did this. Kudos to them for having this scene of when Chanel was in the hospital and Alex came to check on her and was very much like, hey, champ, you doing good? Yeah. That's not how you talk to somebody that you're interested in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And on top of that, you would, with where Johnny was, if there was any sort of connection, vibe, or anything, you would be able to feel that. That was very much like, yo, bro, you all right? Cool. Good to see you up. Hey, yo, I'll at you later. Mm-hmm. Like, that was not like a, hey, baby, I wore that back out, didn't I?
Also, with how jealous he's been, which I'm okay with, I think is not justified, but in his mind justified for him, he wouldn't have reacted. I feel like he would have burst through that door or screamed or threw something or yelled to be like, I knew it, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's just being so quiet about it and it's just festering. And then now I'm going to tell you what I don't like. Now Miss Chanel want to throw a surprise party for Johnny on set. And you want to involve Alex. Mm. Now, you know that man already suspected and crazy about all this.
I know. Oh, no, not Alex.
Anybody, you could ask Stephanie to help you out.
But part of me was also like, oh, a surprise party. Is this the cliffhanger? Like, is this
is this where everything is gonna drop?
Yeah.
But I'm glad Jada and Stephanie had a Kiki moment, and Stephanie was like, I had sex with Alex.
I know.
And she did it again too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I liked that part, because I was like, oh, please don't do the whole like misunderstanding, like, you know, I think she wants to be friends, and then I think he wants to be friends, so I'll back off. And then they were kind of doing that, and then like the attraction took over, and I was like, yeah, please, like, you're too old for that. You've been together before in a relationship. This is not, you know, you can sleep together. It's fine.
Yeah.
Not Alex jump on the birthday cake. Can you imagine? Half naked.
Happy birthday.
Right? Right, exactly.
That's how that would go. My goodness. All right. Well.
What's another part of it?
Smart Leo recruiting Marlena
to
play Hattie.
That was cute.
To get those scenes done.
That was cute. Mm-hmm. I liked their banter and back and forth. It was cute. I like that she mentioned Samantha. That was a nice little touch of like, she's like, Samantha was the actress, not me. I thought that was a cute little reminder.
History.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, y'all, I know that everybody is not digging the body and soul of it all. I mean, we've already said it.
Yeah. But this was a way to do it. Like, make it the background and not, yeah.
Shout out to this was, oh my God, good day from down under. Hello. Never get a chance to catch you live. Love you guys. I have to go in 5 minutes, but I want to say hi. Hello. Watching Days since I was 7 years old. Why, hello there.
Welcome.
How old are you? 14? That was almost that moment where I almost went, Dylan, do you know them? Y'all are both in Australia.
I know.
That's crazy. But all right. Well,
yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
We do not have any tidbits, but before we go into our segments, we want to remind you guys to make sure you follow us on all social media platforms, Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Side note, we have started a members-only YouTube video channel that is, when you join, it's still our channel, but there are some videos that are for members only. It is $4.99 a month. We do plan on having a lot of things like a virtual happy hour that's coming October 23rd for our members only, and to also tell you what you get with that membership. So if you want, make sure you join. Attend our virtual happy hour on October 23rd, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to find out what all entails in your membership. And when you do join, make sure you watch the welcome video, because it also tells you to fill out a form, so that way we have your email address so that we can tell you about some things.
Yep.
Because there are some things that are going to happen that are just for members. Yes. Because I feel like I gotta go on a tangent. Let's explain this. A lot of the things will not change about Dishin Days. These are just additional things that we want to do. And although it's $4.99 a month, we do want to make sure that you are going to really get a lot of stuff with that. So in order to find out about that, join and then come to our virtual happy hour. Fill out the form in the welcome video. Please don't fill out the form unless you are, because I got a list of who's joining, and I match that with the form. And if the two don't go together, okay. But it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you join. How do we join? When you go to our YouTube channel, there should be a join button. If not, right after the show, go to our social media and I will include a link that will allow you to join. So there. Tony, a girl's got to make a living, right? Yeah. Yeah. Where was I? Oh, yes. Find us on your favorite podcast stations, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also, make sure you show some love to JLJ Media on YouTube and wherever podcasts can be found. Make sure you continue telling us your thoughts, and we want to hear from you later on, so you can comment below. And now, everyone, it is now time for our favorite part of our show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap! Oh, snap! My 3 Snaps Award goes to, there are times in life where you stumble upon tea and you don't realize you stumble upon tea. And you talk about said tea, not knowing that you're spilling tea. And that was Holly Jonas. Holly said, wait. Right. But you had said, you had talked to JJ. And I said, oh. And then Abifail was like,
right, I know. Could not.
And Holly was like, no, when we sat at the table, You said you was talking to JJ, so why did you say you were? I said, come on, Holly, spill this tea. And then she said, you know what? I'm just going to go.
I know, got out of there real quick.
This was nice. Congratulations. Yeah, I'm just going, no, it's okay.
That was the fastest exit.
Right. So, Holly Jonas, Ashley, how do you pronounce it?
Puzemis.
Mm-hmm. Say it.
Puzemis.
Ashley Puzemis. You get Tony's official for spilling tea. 3 Snaps Award. Although that was only 2.
Oh, snap!
All right. Okay. And we don't have a caption that because Michael Mattis isn't here, but we do have is...
Those were the days.
All right, everyone. I'm taking you back to October 14th, 2010 for the wedding of Daniel and Chloe. I also am including a unborn Parker in this because Chloe is pregnant with Parker there. And I just have to say there is a lot going on in this photo. Those of you who remember, to our right here behind Chloe, we have Philip, who Chloe has been having an affair with. And to our right, we have the infamous story of the pill popping Carly, who is dangerously obsessed with Daniel recently and is sort of holding back. Either she's high in this or she's holding back her tongue from interrupting this wedding because she wants Daniel for herself. But yes, members, I will get into more of this in a later segment. Sign up to find out. But that was October 14, 2010, where Daniel and Chloe wed with an unborn Parker. Sort of waiting by.
And
Those were the days.
And we don't have It's a Gift because Araceli isn't here, but what we do have is a little bit of news and gossip.
Yes, and we are starting off with some casting information here. Kerry Christopher, not a surprise. I feel like we talk about him every 2 or 3 weeks now. He is landing a new project. He is staying booked and busy. Yes, he is actually going to be guest starring on the Tuesday night on the new series High Potential this Tuesday night on ABC at 10 p.m. Or you can catch it streaming on Hulu. So big congrats to Kerry. He definitely stays working. And then we have some casting news from Mary Beth Evans. She is actually in the new season of The Lincoln Lawyer, streaming right now on Netflix. It's actually season 3, and she appears in episode 2 of the new season. So go check out Mary Beth Evans, hopefully in a new light. I'm assuming she's not playing a doctor in this one, but yeah, go check it out and let us know how she did. Then we have some Scream Queens news coming up. First one with our old friend Lindsay Arnold, who played Allie Horton. I should say Allie Hooker. Allie Horton. She is premiering a new horror movie called Killer Rental. And she actually filmed this one a couple of years ago, but it is just now sort of coming out and making the festival circuit. It's actually premiering in Austin and Chicago, their horror film festivals. So if you are in the city and looking for something to take in, definitely go check them out. And we will definitely keep you informed when it gets wider release. And next we have, actually, since we were off last Sunday, since we pre-taped, Tony and I had the pleasure of going to see a friend to the show, Stacey Hyduke, and her daughter, Sophia Tatum, their new short film, Brand New Cadillac. We have been promoting it for Screenfest LA. And here is a lovely photo of us with Sophia, Tony, of course, Emily O'Brien, Stacey Hyduke, Kenny Garcia, and myself. And those not pictured there, I want to say the Days family always comes out and supports one of their own. Not pictured there, we had Paul Telfer and his lovely wife, Carmen. We had Elia Cantu. We had Julie Dove there. Oh my God, I'm forgetting the gentleman's name who plays Rolf. Richard. Oh God, yeah.
I forgot his last name.
Yeah, but Richard, yes. The new Rolf was there.
Tamara Braun was there as
Tamara
well.
Braun, yes, that's right, yes. So yes, they were all there to support Stacey and Sophia's new film, which went over like gangbusters. The eruption of applause so the Days family was definitely in the theater that night in there to support, and they got a lot of really great feedback. There was a Q&A afterward, and a majority of the questions were sort of geared toward their film. So everyone really resonated with it. And fingers crossed they get an opportunity to make their short brand new catalog into a feature. So if it is coming to a city near you, please look out for it. We will keep you informed of other festivals that it will be entered in, but go see it. It's definitely worth it. Yeah. Then we have some upcoming events to tell you about. We're starting with Star Image Entertainment. We have some cocktails.
Did you skip something?
Did I? Oh, yes. Sorry. Oops. I did. Next up, sorry, we have some Days Online info here, some little behind the scenes stuff. First off, with Lindsay Godfrey, she sat down in the Days social media room to play a round of Trivia Tuesday, where she asked who are Sarah's biological parents. And funny thing, I think a lot of people don't know this answer. There was a lot of interesting, go and read the comments. I don't know if you guys know, but go and read the comments. Very interesting answers for some people who may not know Sarah's biological lineage. But yeah, go check that out at the Instagram post at Days Peacock. And then we had a lovely photo of Susan Hayes and Deidre Hall, who we know are very good friends, and with Susan captioning, letting us know that after a long, stressful day in Salem, she decided to treat Deidre Hall to a smoothie and pastry at Porto's Bakery. And if you don't know, Porto's Bakery is a very, very famous, well-known bakery here in LA. And so not a surprise that not only Susan knows it, but that was her 1-2 stop to sort of bring Dee after a stressful day. So a lovely photo with those two. So yeah. Now we have some upcoming events, starting with some from Star Entertainment, a few cocktail Zooms. The first one is with Sherry Jimenez and Eric Martzoff. That one is going to take place on October 22nd. Then we have a new birthday Zoom. If you want to help celebrate Paul Telfer's birthday, go join him with a cocktail Zoom on actually October 27th. And then the following day, we have the one with Melissa Reeves and Matt Ashford, Jack and Jennifer on October 28th. And all tickets and info, you can go to eventbrite.ca/Star Image Entertainment. And that brings us to our Day of Days weekend, which is coming up in, I believe, 2 weeks. It'll be here. We've been talking about it for months now, and it's almost here. Of course, Day of Days is happening November 2nd, 2000 this year in the Peacock Theater at LA, hosted by our very own Mr. Tony Moore. I know last week Tony gave some very good insight on what's going on and how the day is going to go. Do you want to run through it, or do you want to just keep?
If you would like to know, please watch last week's
News and
show. But also visit peacockdayofdays.com and find out all the details in the frequently asked questions section, including a list of who's coming this year.
Yes, it is going to be a very different Day of Days than in the past, but soon to be a really fun one with some interesting changes that I think people will really respond to. So go check that out, www.peacockdayofdays.com, the frequently asked questions for all of your info there. Next up, we have, continuing with Day of Days weekend, the night before we have our Starstruck fan event. This one is the Yesterdays with the Twist. It's happening, again, Friday, November 1st. All tickets and info, you can go to www.starstruckfanevents.com. Then also happening that night, there is an exclusive cocktail and dinner party. This one with the Ladies of Hollywood, happening again November 1st, 5:30 to 9:30. Tickets and info, you can email Lori Beth at lorimatrix@yahoo.com. And we see that there's been a little bit of an update. And now, in addition to Stacey Hyduke, Ely Cantu, Nadia Bjorlin, Emily O'Brien, and Patricia Darbo, they have added Courtney Hope to the roster. So yeah, it looks like it'll be a very, very fun night with the ladies. So go check that out.
Here's to the ladies who lunch.
Yes. And capping off the Day of Days weekend, if you are not too tired after Day of Days, you have an opportunity to go see the Day Players Band perform. They are performing at the Bourbon Room that night, that Saturday night. In addition to that, they have a couple of new dates in Naples and Tampa, Florida, where they will be joined by fellow castmate Leo Howard. That we been telling you about. They've added some new dates. They're continuing into the new year after a little bit of a holiday break in February with 2 new shows in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia. And just this past week, because of the horrible horrible devastation that we've got with the 2 hurricanes, Helene and God, what's the other one? Milton. They are doing a charity fundraiser this time where you can bid on a post-show cocktail auction with all of the proceeds going to benefit hurricane victims and hurricane relief. All tickets, and that's going to be for the Raleigh shows on October 26th, and then the Virginia Beach show the next day on October 27th. So, interested in helping out or donating, you can go to all Day Players Band information. You can go to thedayplayersband.com.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that has been news and gossip. And now it's time to find out what's happening this week on Peacock's Days of Our Lives.
This woman is an imposter. She's a con artist.
He fell for a lie and found heartache.
Why are you pretending to be my dead wife?
I need to tell you who I really am.
He's blind to the truth.
My wife's cheating on me.
Whoa.
And finds joy.
Chloe Lane's little sister, Joy Wesley.
Where were you last night?
I met somebody.
Who?
Johnny.
I saw you!
What are you talking about?
I know you two were having sex in here!
Did you sleep with this man?
Days of Our Lives.
Okay, that throws a wrench in it.
First of all, can I just say how much the actress Joy looks like Nadia Bjorlin?
Yep. Good casting. Really good casting.
See, and this is why I ran into Bob Lambert recently.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And he thanked us for the Dishin Days Awards for casting. And I told him, I said, what you guys do is so amazing.
Yep.
And we pay attention to that.
Yep.
And so we want to acknowledge that. And this is another example of that. Like, it's amazing. So shout out to Marnie. Shout out to Bob. Yes, Bob.
Yeah.
You too.
Yes.
Because you guys do amazing work. Now let's get on casting me. Let's get it. Anyway.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Be very interesting.
We finally have Joy back. We finally have Joy. Well, yeah.
Joy. You know it. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another wonderful episode of Dishin Days. But before we go, Justin Lee Hareld.
Ooh, where am I?
Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
And make sure you show some love to Araceli, who you can find on Instagram and Twitter at Tia323Araceli. Also, show some love to Michael Mattis on, Instagram and Twitter at ML Mattis. You can find me on all social media platforms at Lounging with Tony. You can find us, Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter X, and Threads. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another wonderful episode of Dishin Days. Special shout out to Serena Scott Thomas for stopping in and chit-chatting and kikiing with us. If you missed that, go back and watch it or listen to it because it was amazing. So thank you, Serena, for joining us.
And hanging out backstage and giving us some nice commentary to our silliness. Very much appreciate it.
Exactly. And that's it for us. Until next week, we'll see you all. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. And of course, make sure you watch Days of Our Lives every Monday through Friday on Peacock. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.